In the world of celebrity glitz and glamour, few stories shine with both triumph and tragedy like that of Tameka Dianne Harris. Known for her angelic soprano voice, powerful songwriting, and her unwavering loyalty as a wife and mother, Tiny has lived her life in the spotlight. But behind the fame is a woman who has endured unimaginable pain, loss, and heartbreak, and emerged with grace and resilience. Today, we take a deep look into the life of Tiny Harris, her rise to fame, her musical legacy, and the deeply personal tragedies that have shaped the woman we see today. Tameka Dianne Cottle, affectionately known as Tiny, was born on July 14, 1975, in College Park, Georgia. She was destined for music. Her father, Charles Speedy Pope, was a member of the legendary R&B group The Tams, best known for hits like Be Young, Be Foolish, Be Happy. Music flowed through Tiny's veins from an early age. She attended Tri-Cities Performing Arts High School in Atlanta, where fate introduced her to the future members of what would become the iconic R&B girl group, Xscape. Formed in 1991, Xscape included Kandi Burruss, LaTocha Scott, Tameka Scott, and Tiny herself. Their harmonies were tight, their sound was fresh, and their lyrics resonated with young women across the country. Signed to Jermaine Dupri's So So Def Recordings, the group's debut album, Hummin' Comin' At Cha, 1993, went platinum with hits like Just Kickin' It and Understanding. They followed it up with two more successful albums, Off the Hook, 1995, and Traces of My Lipstick, 1998, before disbanding in 1999 due to internal tensions. Tiny's angelic soprano and keen songwriting helped define Xscape's sound and made her a standout voice in 90s R&B. But even as Xscape went on hiatus, Tiny wasn't done. She co-wrote the mega-hit No Scrubs by TLC, a song that earned her a Grammy Award in 2000. That moment solidified her status not just as a singer, but as a force behind the scenes. Tiny's personal life has often played out publicly, especially her relationship with rapper Clifford T.I. Harris, whom she married in 2010. The couple has 3 children together, King, Major, and Eris Harris, and Tiny also has a daughter, Zanique, from a previous relationship. But amid the joy of motherhood, Tiny experienced one of life's cruelest heartbreaks. In 2007, while 6 months pregnant with her second child with T.I., Tiny faced an unthinkable tragedy. Her daughter, Leila Amore Harris, was stillborn. The loss was sudden, shocking, and shattering. In interviews, Tiny has described it as the saddest moment of her life, a pain so deep, so personal, it left her emotionally paralyzed. The pregnancy had been progressing normally until complications arose. When the doctors told her there was no heartbeat, Tiny was devastated. The stillbirth didn't just affect Tiny, it deeply impacted T.I. as well. Together, they mourned a child they would never get to raise, a little girl whose room had been prepared, whose name had already been chosen, and who had already been loved. Tiny has openly discussed how therapy became a lifeline during this period of unimaginable grief. Speaking about Leila's death wasn't easy, but doing so became a way for Tiny to connect with others who have suffered similar losses. By sharing her story, she not only honored her daughter's memory, but also helped destigmatize conversations around stillbirth and pregnancy loss, a topic often shrouded in silence and shame. T.I., too, has spoken about the emotional toll of losing Leila. As a father, he described the challenge of supporting Tiny while managing his own pain, calling it one of the darkest chapters in their relationship. Yet through this grief, they grew stronger, leaning on each other, holding space for the pain, and continuing to show up for their other children. They named their daughter Leila Amore Harris, a name that symbolized the love and hope they held for her. Though she never took a breath, Leila's presence remains woven into their family story. Mentions in interviews, quiet tributes, and public acknowledgments have kept her memory alive, proof that the depth of love does not depend on the length of life. In 2013, Tiny was faced with another emotional blow, this time, the loss of her beloved father, Charles "Speedy" Pope. Charles wasn't just her dad, he was her musical mentor, her hero, her first inspiration. His career with the Tams introduced Tiny to the world of performance, songwriting, and touring. Watching him navigate the ups and downs of the music industry instilled in Tiny the confidence to chase her dreams with Xscape and beyond. Losing him was like losing a part of herself. Although the details surrounding his passing weren't widely publicized, Tiny has spoken about the emotional weight of losing her father, especially as she tried to balance the demands of her career and motherhood at the time. His death forced Tiny to reflect on the fragility of life and the urgency of cherishing loved ones. It also fueled her passion to continue his musical legacy, not only through her solo endeavors but by guiding her daughter Zanique's group, OMG Girls, which she co-created. Tiny's father's influence can be felt in everything she does, from her business moves to her vocal runs. His memory continues to be a driving force in her creative journey. In February 2019, tragedy struck the Harris family once more. Precious Harris, T.I.'s older sister and a cherished member of their inner circle, died at the age of 66 after a devastating car accident in Atlanta. Reports later confirmed that Precious suffered an asthma attack while driving, which caused her to lose control of her vehicle and crash. She was placed on life support but passed away a week later. The loss was shocking and traumatic. Precious was more than T.I.'s sister, she was a constant presence in the Harris family, a maternal figure, and a warm, nurturing spirit whose vibrant personality made her a fan favorite on the family's reality TV shows. Tiny was heartbroken. As she supported her husband through his grief, she was also mourning a woman who had become like a sister to her. The entire family was devastated, and fans flooded social media with condolences, tributes, and prayers. In a touching social media post, Tiny wrote, "You were such a huge part of our lives. I will forever be grateful for all your love, kindness, and support over the years." The loss of Precious, coming after the death of Tiny's father and the stillbirth of her daughter, added to the emotional burden Tiny carried. But once again, she showed remarkable resilience, choosing to honor Precious's memory through love, family, and faith. Despite these overwhelming losses, Tiny Harris has continued to push forward, with strength, grace, and determination. Her professional accomplishments have not slowed down. In 2024, Tiny and T.I. celebrated a major victory after winning a $71 million lawsuit against MGA Entertainment, the company behind Bratz dolls, for infringing on the intellectual property of the OMG Girls. The legal win wasn't just about money, it was about respect and ownership, especially for Black creatives whose contributions are often overlooked or exploited. For Tiny, it was a moment of vindication, and a message to her daughters about fighting for what's rightfully yours. Tiny has also remained active in music, reality television, and business. She continues to appear on shows like T.I. and Tiny, Friends and Family Hustle, where viewers get a glimpse into the highs and lows of family life, entrepreneurship, and marriage.